Welcome back to Georgian Bay Classics. We're here today with Sheldon Ryer, and Sheldon has a 1929 Auburn 890 Boattail Speedster. Sheldon, great to have you on the show.
Awesome. Well, thanks for your welcoming here. We've had a great time today.
And tell us a little bit about this beautiful Auburn.
This is a 1929 Speedster. Auburn made Speedsters in 3 series over 8 years, total about 700 cars, so the early series are probably the rarest. This car we've had for 9 years. We just finished restoring it at the end of July. So a guy that works for us and a bunch of friends of ours, we just kind of got together. It was totally kind of a grassroots deal. We did it over 7 months, which is pretty expedited because we really wanted to have it here today. Auburn was taken over in the mid-20s, and they wanted a kind of a flash and image-making car to draw people into the showrooms. So that was what brought the Speedster to market. They found a lot of racing success at Pikes Peak, on the salt flats in Nevada, on the beaches at Daytona before they put the racetrack there. So it's a Boattail Speedster. So if you look at the back of the car, it's like an inverted boat hull. The Boattail design on this car was developed by a count from Russia, actually, who was a streamlining innovator, and they found that it made the air pull out the back of the car, much like aviators of the day. That was kind of a big styling change. So if you look at the cars here, as you go from the teens to the 20s to the 30s, you see a lot of evolution in the design and styling of the cars. It's a hugely impractical car because the seat's 33 inches wide, so you need to be pretty good friends with whoever you're riding with. And there's no trunk, there's no rumble seat in this car. If you look at the sides of the car, there's just a little golf club door. That's how you access the storage space in the back of the car.
What about the weight of the car? You talked about it being a speedster and being a race car.
Yeah.
And what sort of weight? How did it compare to the other cars in the 20s, late 20s, early 30s?
I don't actually know the actual weight of this car. A lot of them, what you see there, they're used for racing purposes. They basically just take the bumpers, the fenders, and the lights off when they would go racing. You look at some of the pictures from the day, and you'd see the race cars in town at a restaurant after they come off the salt flat. So it was kind of interesting how they, it was a multi-purpose race car.
What sort of engine did it have? Sheldon, could you show us the engine?
Sure. This is a Lycoming straight 8. Lycoming was owned by E.L. Cord, which owned the Auburn company too. And this one is an Auburn 890, so that stands for 8-cylinder, 90 horsepower. So this car would go 93 mile an hour. So back in the day, the speed limit was 45 mile an hour, so it would go double the speed limit of the roads of the day.
And this is a straight 8.
It's a straight 8. So all 8 cylinders are straight in line. You can see compared to an engine of today or the underhood of today, it's really simple. Everything's exposed. So the carb and the exhaust manifold are on the other side. And
it's huge though too. It's an absolutely huge engine. And what about the transmission?
It's 3-speed. It's like a rock crusher, so it's got straight cut gears. It doesn't shift especially well, but you kind of get used to it.
Do you have to double clutch between the gears?
Yeah, downshifting for sure. You got to double clutch.
Okay, so for our viewers, double clutching means you have to press the pedal down 2 times before you change the gear to disengage the clutch pressure plate.
Yeah, for sure. The idea is just to get your road speed to match your engine speed, so that everything's spinning at the right speed when you go to engage the gears.
Wow, wow. But again, a race car and pretty simple back in 1929, but advanced in other ways with the Boattail.
This car here has hydraulic brakes, which is fairly unusual for the day. It also has a Bajur central lubrication system. So there's a knob underneath the dash, and if you push it, you'll see there's copper lines all around the car. So there's copper lines up in here, and they go to the transmission and all the spring bushings. So you hit a button under the dash, and it basically, central lubrication, it pumps oil to all the different remote areas of the car.
A very simple car, but an absolutely beautiful car. And you talked about how simple it is in the interior as well.
Yeah, there's
not much to it.
There's a very basic.
Could you open the door for us, Sheldon, so we could have a look?
It's got vacuum-operated wipers, which are totally exposed on the top of the windshield. And it's pretty bare bones. All your controls for your ignition, your throttle, and your lights are all in the center of the steering wheel there. So there's not really much in the way of dash knobs or anything. And there's no inside door handles on it. If you want to open the door, you got to reach out and use the outside handles.
And since your restoration, you said it took 7 months to do the restoration, and you've done it yourself in your own shop? Yeah, this is not something done by a specialist?
It wasn't done by a professional shop or anything. It's just Dad and I and a guy that works with us and some friends of ours that we've dealt with for a while. We've done a few cars. This is for sure the pride of the fleet, and we're just really proud of everybody's involvement with it and how well it came out.
Tell us about the color. Was this a color back in the 20s, or was this your own design?
This is called Navajo Red. A lot of most of the cars of the day were painted very kind of muted earth tones, which we didn't feel really suited the body lines of the styling of the car. So this is the one color they had back in the day that we thought had the flash to.
And did they always have the two-tone back in the day for the special cars?
Yeah.
Yeah, they did.
Yeah, the early Auburns were painted fairly simple, and then when they started going to market against all the competition of the day, then they decided to go with more elaborate color schemes. This car in 1929 was $1,800. That's when the Depression hit. So this is really a 1929 car. This model wasn't made in 1930, but its title is a 1930 because back in the day they would just kind of roll it over and call it the next year. Nobody really cared. It's got a 4-digit serial number. So on the ownership, it's just got 4 digits. So a modern car has 18.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of information that's not on the VIN number.
Incredible. Thanks for spending your time with us
thank
today,
you.
Sheldon. Good to have you on the show.
Appreciate it.